to this beat.
Welcome to another episode. Welcome to another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I am your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will so I continue to bring you that gospel of Gamecocks every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are now rocking with the best. And since you are rocking with the best, come rock with your man, Captain Will. We got to go with today, y'all. I said we got to go in today, y'all. We are pre-gaming, we are unpacking the big matchup versus Louisville on Thursday night, 7:00 p.m. It is going down. Follow me on Instagram at Captain Will the OG. Follow me on Twitter at Gamecocks Talk, and follow me most importantly on YouTube, Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, ring the bell so you'll know when new episodes are going to appear. I am still shaking off a little cold that I gathered while I was in Las Vegas, but I will be okay. I will be fine. It is all good. Ain't no little cold gonna stop Captain Will from rocking. So let's talk about South Carolina women's basketball team versus Louisville. Before I get started, breaking down this big matchup that we got going on Thursday, the Louisville taking on the three-time national champions. I got a lot of comments, a lot of questions, and talking about the polls, the net rankings, the AP polls, all these different things, and I just have to simmer down because I was upset. I was upset when it came out. And I was upset when it came out more so because I really like the net ranking better than the AP poll. I do. But after the net rankings came out, and the net rankings help determine, seeding in the NCAA tournament. And after I saw the buffoonery, the tomfoolery, the cray-cray of the net rankings, I don't know what to say. You got LSU being bumped to number one in the net rankings. Net rankings taken into account of strength of schedule. LSU's strength of schedule is horrific, terrible. They have not even played a quadrant one basketball team yet. Majority of the teams they played have been quadrant four. So some folks might be watching me right now and be like, Cap, what you talking about quadrant one, quadrant four? Quadrant one teams basically are Power Four conference teams. Quadrant four teams are teams that are not. They are teams that in my and Captain Will's vernacular, teams that suck. So majority of teams that LSU has played are teams that suck. But they also take into account the margin of victory. Now rankings take into account where the game's being played. If it's at home, is it a neutral site game? If it's a road game, there's all these different things that's rolled up. And apparently, the computer that determines the net rankings valued margin of victory more so than I thought and bumped LSU to number one. Nobody, with the exception of LSU fans, in their right mind, would say that LSU is the number one basketball team after playing absolutely no one this season. LSU will not play a ranked team until January the 1st. So how in the hell the computer must be must be sick. The computer must be infected of some type of virus to move LSU to number 1 basketball team in the country. Drop South Carolina to number 6 in the net ranking. UConn to number 2. Makes no sense to me. Thank goodness everything will be settled when conference play starts. LSU are destroying basketball teams. Most of these basketball teams I've never heard of. But they have been rewarded being number 1 in that ranking. Now, I gotta shout out the AP pollsters who did not place LSU high. And still got Carolina number 3. UConn number 1, Texas number 2, South Carolina number 3. What I'm saying is, for today, in terms of these rankings, it would all be decided soon. LSU got Duke Thursday after South Carolina takes on Louisville. This will be LSU's biggest game so far this season, playing a very, very wounded Duke basketball team in the SEC versus ACC challenge. We will see. And I'm going to let the cat out of the bag right now. I will be starting a new podcast in addition to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will continue talking South Carolina women's basketball. That ain't going to change ever, 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 ever. But I will start a new podcast called Ballin' with Captain Will, discussing SEC women's basketball overall. That will be starting real soon. So make sure you check that out. Now let's talk about South Carolina versus Louisville. South Carolina comes into this basketball game 7-1. Like I mentioned before, South Carolina 6th in the net ranking, number 3 in the AP poll. Currently, Carolina has the 96th ranked strength of schedule. 2 big victories Carolina has had this season thus far in terms of net ranking. Southern Cal right now is ranked 32nd in net ranking. Clemson is ranked 44th. I said that Clemson is a good basketball team. I said that victory and margin of victory versus Clemson will mean something forward. Clemson right now, as is constituted today, December the 2nd, would be, according to Charlie Cream, who is the ESPN tournament extraordinaire super duper star in terms of predicting where these seedings are in March, has Clemson as being one of the first 4 teams out of the tournament. I say that Clemson will make the tournament this season. They are a really good basketball team. In terms of Louisville 7-2. They have a net ranking of 14th. Okay. Louisville is a great basketball team. Okay. And 139th in strength of schedule. Their biggest victory thus far is also the Clemson Tigers, which is ranked 44th in the net ranking. Ladies and gentlemen, this is huge for South Carolina as we go to Louisville, Kentucky. I can't wait. South Carolina's offense versus Louisville's defense. First off, South Carolina is ranked 5th in offensive rating. That is awesome. Okay? Say what you will about South Carolina's offense, but South Carolina is ranked 5th out of 300 and 63 basketball teams. We're doing something right. We're third in field goal percentage. That is nice. 7th in assist to turnover ratio, 11th in 2-point percentage, 11th in fewest turnovers per game, 12th in assists, 26th in 3-point percentage. All those numbers are amazing. Terrific numbers by the South Carolina women's basketball team. 2-point, 3-point, fewest turnovers. I can go on and on about how elite this offense is. But there are a couple of need some improvement, so to speak, for the South Carolina women's basketball team, one of which is the free throw shooting, which we are 106 in free throw shooting. Not bad. Not bad at all, actually. It's all right. Top third in the country. I shouldn't even say that's all right. And it's only going to improve. Pace of play, 150th. I'm disappointed. I'm perplexed. I don't like that. I don't like being 150th in terms of pace of play when we have Raven Johnson at the point guard position. Then we got Maddy McDaniel coming off the bench. I don't like that at all. I don't. You know, Carolina, I mentioned, was 26 in terms of 3-point percentage. Well, if we are 26 in 3-point percentage, I think we should shoot a lot of threes, right? That makes sense. You're 26 in the country out of 363 basketball teams. You should shoot a lot of 3-pointers, right? Or at least a good number of them. Carolina, right now, is ranked 357th in the country in terms of 3-point attempt rate. 21% of our shots are 3-point attempts. That needs to go up. As long as we shooting 26%, we need to shoot several 3-pointers per basketball game. It don't matter. It really don't matter if you are at this point elite shooting a 3 when you only shooting 21% of your shots is 3-point attempts. That number need to go up, y'all. I don't even. I mean, it's great. It's great in terms of 2-point percentage where we're 11th and overall field goal percentage we're 3rd. But we can need to shoot more 3-pointers. And I ain't never thought I would say those words come out of Captain Will's mouth. I never thought that, but we do. We need to shoot more 3-pointers. I need Tessa Johnson shooting about 7, which she's shooting about 5 3-pointers per game. We need to shoot more 3-pointers. I've been saying that Joyce Edwards, so far this season, was the SEC Player of the Year. I've been saying that. Well, you know I'm a numbers guy. And I ain't gonna, you know, Joyce is balling. But I gotta change my statement. I gotta retract my statement right now. Because I believe, as it stands right now on December the 2nd, that Madina, 6'6" Madina from Mississippi State, is the SEC Player of the Year. And I'm not just saying SEC Player of the Year. I believe that Madina is the SEC Defensive Player of the Year. The stats speak for themselves. Madina is averaging 26 minutes per basketball game. Okay? 26 minutes per basketball game, averaging 14 points, 11 rebounds, one assist, 1 steal, 2 block shots, 2 turnovers. Those are the stats right now as a constituted. On offense, she is getting you. She's 4th in the SEC in field goal percentage. 4th in the SEC in offensive rebounding percentage. She's 8th in the SEC in player efficiency rating. She's 10th in the SEC in offensive rating. I'll get to the stats and about defensively of what she's doing. But just those are just straight up offensive stats for Madina. Terrific numbers. And when I say SEC Player of the Year, I'm talking about offense and defense. She's playing terrific. Terrific basketball. Joyce Edwards, offensively, 29 minutes, 20 points per game, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 2 turnovers per basketball game. She's third in the SEC in points per game. She's 6th in the SEC in field goal percentage. She's 9th in the SEC in player efficiency rating. If I had to an award for the best offensive player in the SEC, it'll be Joyce Edwards. She's a bucket getter. She's very efficient offensively. Terrific. Raven Johnson, number 3, 28 minutes, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, couple of turnovers per basketball game. She's 4th in the SEC in assists per game, 5th in the SEC in assist percentage. Those are 3 top players right now through 8 basketball games. Those are 3 players that Louisville has to defend, has to do some extra film study to stop, slow down this big 3, so to speak, of the South Carolina women's basketball team. Now, Louisville's a good basketball team. They are a good basketball team. And when we talk about Louisville in terms of defense, they solid. They're not great, but they're a solid basketball team defensively. They're 49th in the country in terms of defensive rating. They're solid. 6th in 3-point percentage allowed. That's not a big deal when in terms with South Carolina, because like I mentioned before, Carolina is 357th in terms of 3-point attempts rate at 21%. So that's not a big deal. You know, they're 104th. 104th in steals per game. They're 109th in field goal percentage allowed. 238th in 2-point percentage allowed. 259th in blocks per basketball game. Skylar Jones. You know what? I probably Raina Scott. Raina Scott, this 5'9" guard, is probably their best defender. She's 12th in the ACC in steal percentage and 16th in the ACC in defensive rating. 12th in the and then Skylar Jones, who I just mentioned, is 12th in the ACC in steals per game. You know, who's a 6-foot guard. With the deficiencies that Louisville has, 109th in field goal percentage allowed. South Carolina is amazing. Top 3 in field goal percentage. Okay, so that's a check mark for South Carolina. The Louisville 238th in terms of 2-point percentage allowed. With South Carolina, it's top 15. That's another huge check mark by South Carolina. Blocks per game, Louisville 259th. Our bigs are going to have a field day on Louisville. They are. What we do exceptional, Louisville don't do well in terms of our offense versus their defense. So that's a huge check mark by the South Carolina women's basketball team. As we move to South Carolina's defense versus Louisville's offense. South Carolina, as it currently states, is 13th in the country in defensive rating. Not to the standard that South Carolina normally has. Yet, we're 3rd in field goal percentage allowed. That is elite. We're 4th in 2-point percentage allowed. That is amazing. We're 5th in blocks per basketball game. That is legit. 27th in 3-point percentage allowed. Keep that in mind. 27th in 3-point percentage allowed. Carolina normally defends the 3 well. Keep that in mind. Steals per basketball game. That is what is bringing down our defensive rating, where we are 190th. We average about 7 steals per game. I don't get that one either. I don't. We are too athletic to only be getting 7 steals per basketball game. I'm just saying. I mentioned before about how elite Madina is. Why I believe that right now, as it states, she should be the SEC Player of the Year. and is SEC Defensive Player of the Year. On defense, you talk about second in the SEC in total rebounds per basketball game, second in the SEC in defensive rating, ninth in the country in defensive rating, second in the SEC in total rebound percentage, seventh in the SEC in total rebound percentage. And I use the total rebound percentage because she's getting you 26 minutes per game. She's not getting you 35, 36 minutes per game, 26 minutes per game. But she is dominating when she's in the game. She's fourth in the SEC in defensive rebounds, 14th in the country in defensive rebounds, fourth in the SEC in defensive rebound percentage. So this young lady has been dominant rebounding basketball. Fifth in the SEC in blocks per game, sixth in the SEC in blocks percentage. She's been amazing and has been the best defender in the SEC. Give that girl her flowers. For real. Give her flowers. Louisville's offense is very good. Their defense is good. Offense, very good. 16th offensive rating. Carolina's better. They're fifth and fewest turnovers per basketball game. They don't turn the ball over much. Do not turn the ball over much. They're 11th in assist to turnover ratio. Terrific. 44th in field goal percentage. So you got the 44th field goal percentage offense going against an elite, spectacular defense in terms of field goal percentage allowed. Something got to give. They're 63rd in two-point percentage. Going against, again, an elite defense that is fourth in two-point percentage allowed by the South Carolina Gamecocks. Something has to give. Louisville is 40th in three-point percentage. Of that 40th in three-point percentage, I mentioned that Carolina is 357th in terms of three-point percentage attempt rate. Well, Louisville is 170th. Carolina, 21% of our shots are threes. Well, 35% of Louisville shots are three-pointers. We have to defend the three. The stats say that we defend the three well. We will see on Thursday. Louisville shoots the ball well from the free throw line, 47th in the country. They also are 43rd in assists per game. I don't like our pace of play so far where we're 150th, where Louisville is 218. 218. Expect a lower scoring basketball game on Thursday. Okay? Three players that South Carolina has to worry about. Three players that South Carolina has to game plan for. Probably their best player is Laura Ziegler. Laura Ziegler is a 6'2" forward. She's getting you 28 minutes. She's getting you 13 points, 44% from the field, and 46% from three on 4 attempts, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover. She's second in the ACC in offensive rating. She is terrific offensively. Terrific. 10th in the ACC in player efficiency. 16th in the ACC in offensive rebounding percentage. 20th in the ACC in points per game. She's elite. 20th in the ACC in assists per game. At the forward position, we have to defend her. Second best is probably Tayana Roberts, 5'10" guard. 29 minutes, give you 13 points, 44% from the field, 37% from 3 on 5 attempts, couple of rebounds, couple of assists, 1 steal. She's nice. 13th in ACC in offensive rating. She's a good basketball player. Louisville's offense is nice. Roberts also is 16th in the ACC in points per game and 17th in ACC in field goal percentage. We have to D her up. Raven Johnson, get ready. Amari Berry, who I wanted to be a Gamecock, 5-star recruit, ended up going to Louisville, 5'10" guard, 22 minutes per game, 10 points, shooting 44% from the field, 32% from 3 on 4 attempts, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, a couple of turnovers, 19th in the ACC in offensive rating. Very good player. I can go with McKinley Randolph, another 5-star recruit who they have, who's getting about 20 minutes per game. Louisville has a good basketball team. Make no mistake about it. I shouldn't even say good. Louisville has a great basketball team. South Carolina got to play basketball on Thursday. We have to play. This is not no gimme game by any stretch of the imagination. Louisville is talented, and they are playing at home. Carolina has to play ball on Thursday. If Carolina does not play ball, if we don't play to our standard offensively and defensively, this game could be really, really close. Really, really close. Madina has to play well. Joyce has to play well in order for us to win. This is another quadrant 1 game. This is another great game against a talented basketball team at their place. This is important. This is important. You're talking about Duke, Texas, and now Louisville. This is an important stretch against high-level competition. This is a very tough basketball game. I think Carolina will play well. I think our offense might start slow. I think our defense will play well. I think Louisville's pace of play plays into us, slowing the game down. I think eventually our offense will hit on all cylinders and we will win this basketball game. But I don't see a blowout by South Carolina by any stretch of the imagination. I see the Gamecocks winning by 8 to 10 points versus Louisville. And we come back home and then play North Carolina Central on Sunday. South Carolina has to play ball on Thursday in order to come away with this victory. This victory potentially over Louisville will look great in March with all the seeding and things, because Louisville is very talented and they will be there. Carolina got to play ball. Carolina got to play ball. This is not no time to just show up and think that we're just going to win. And fans, make sure when I do this live show on Thursday to bring it. Bring it. I want all the comments. I want all the fervor. I want everything, because this game is going to be really, really good. With that being said, this includes another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I am your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, and make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will so I continue to bring that gospel of Gamecocks every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are now rocking with the best. And since you're rocking with the best, come rock with your man, Captain Will. Let's go.
J-Rock did this